Nostalgia is perhaps the most powerful thing to affect our memory. It's easy to look back and think about how things were so much better back in the old days. You know, back when in order to listen to all your favorite music, you had to have a giant floor-to-ceiling CD case, and you couldn't take it with you on walks unless you had a portable CD player. And I tell you, I loved jamming out to those things, especially when I would stand stock still and the damn thing would still skip half the time. You are desire when that way. Yeah, guys, that was really so much better than having literally every song ever created in a tiny piece of plastic that fits in your pocket. It doesn't skip no matter how much you throw the damn thing, because I guess it has been 1 year since you bought it. So now the software has a mandatory slowdown to force you into purchasing the next overpriced upgrade. And don't fucking play me, Apple. I know you have Steve Jobs' head frozen right next to Walt Disney so that when all else fails, you can Futurama their asses in order to make more money to feed the conglomerate that will one day have us all working in the emerald mines for even a sliver of bread. Good God, lost myself there for a moment. Anyway, nostalgia is a pair of rose-colored glasses, and today, instead of speaking with the confidence that I know what I'm talking about, because, let's be honest, I haven't known a damn thing I'm saying since what I am only illegally allowed to describe as the incident, but I want to instead extend the question to you, my audience. Was Dead by Daylight actually good back then, or are you just nostalgic for the days you fell in love with the game? Before you answer, let me explain why this is an entire YouTube video as opposed to a Reddit post or something, because I do have something to add to perhaps tickle your brain or make you rethink your position. But just for fun, put your answer down in the comments and then add an edit on if you change your mind after I'm done speaking. Apex Legends is a game I've sunk over 6,000 hours into. Among every game I've ever played, the only one to ever surpass this playtime is Legend of Dragoon on the PlayStation 1, and that's because I replay that game once a year as it's my favorite game of all time. And before you ask, I typically use Lavitz and Rose, sometimes Hatchel in the place of Rose, and Lavitz is best boy, and if I could replace Dart, I would. I've been playing Apex since day 3 of release, and I say been playing, but I recently quit due to utter incompetence, lack of transparency, and what I can only describe as giggling contempt for its community by EA and the dev team. But once in a while, I'll pop back into the community to see what they are up to, and the absolute befuddlement I experience in seeing so many of the community claim that Apex was better in the good old days. Now, don't get me wrong, I loved Apex back then. I wouldn't have 6,000 hours in the game if there wasn't some sort of attachment there. But in reality, the game kinda sucked back then. The core issues with the game have only gotten worse: lack of audio, poor optimization, dog shit servers, and so many more have been becoming increasingly worse with each patch. But many people pretend that there was a magical time in the game's lifespan when these problems weren't there. Or the crap monetization in the game. Holy shit! The absolute mess that was the very first collection event back in Season 2, also called the Iron Crown event, was insane. I thought the game was going to die right then and there. Essentially, EA did EA things and wanted people to pay well over $400 to complete the collection event for nothing but a few skins. They claimed exclusivity, but we all know that isn't true. Respawn and EA have developed this nasty habit of slapping a coat of old rusted paint they found in the garage under old porno magazines and used fleshlights onto exclusive skins and then charging 20 to 45 bucks a pop for them. But the problems back then were terrible. Balance changes were non-existent. Wraith and Pathfinder were way too strong. Gibby and Caustic were unplayable due to the lack of a Fortify passive. The Spitfire and Wingman could kill you before you realized you were being shot at. It was a mess that everyone complained about, a mess that, in all honesty, many Apex veterans seem to have forgotten. Then came Season 3, and this is the point where I really started thinking about this question, because a lot of people in the Apex community, a lot of Apex veterans will swear to you that Season 3 was the peak of Apex, the best it had ever been. But I was there. Y'all hated Season 3. People hated Crypto, thought he was overwhelming and incredibly weak, which he was, thought the charge rifle was OP, which it was, and hated World's Edge at the time because of all the choke points across the center of the map that made rotation very, very difficult and very, very annoying to deal with. The complaining was non-stop. I joined the community full send around Season 3. That is to say, in Season 3 is when I began talking in forums, Reddit, and on Twitter. I joined the Twitch sphere as well, so I remember the bitching all too well, and throughout the years, it was always so baffling to sit and watch people pretend as if Apex used to be this near flawless masterpiece that was only destroyed with time. As time goes on, problems with the game for sure got worse. No regs started becoming more of an issue, and the dev team seemed to become more and more detached from what we as a community wanted, but there was always a part of me that remembers the Season 2 Iron Crown collection event. I remember when the true colors of the dev team was shown that day. It was a combination of puke green and piss yellow, and it was draped in a coat made of money that people were giving them. So the whole point that I'm trying laboriously to get to with this tangent related to a game that is not Dead by Daylight in relation to a question to Dead by Daylight veterans is, are you really sure that the game used to be good? Or are you falling victim to the same thing that I witnessed the Apex veterans falling to? Something that I myself even fell to for a while until I sat down and really thought about it. If the old days were so bad, why do so many people claim that back in the day the games were at its peak? And it's because of what I said in the beginning, nostalgia. People miss when they fell in love with the game, when they saw a bright future ahead of it. They missed that little time. And the thing is I also see a relationship between me as a new player and Dead by Daylight veterans, as I see as me as an Apex veteran and new players to Apex Legends. New players see a game that they really, really love and enjoy because they haven't been there through all the dog shit that's happened over the years, and they aren't burnt out from the game, right? There's this idea that the game used to be this masterpiece or this way better experience for everybody, but was it truly like that, or have you just been playing for so ungodly long that you no longer look at the game in that sense? I remember when Nick Merckx tweeted at Imperial Hal that Imperial Hal hated Apex Legends because Hal was burnt out. And I remember, as somebody who has also put the same amount of hours into the game as Hal, maybe even more, that I truly and honestly hated Nick Merckx for that. Like, how dare you accuse us of all being burned out? But looking back on it, and I hate to admit this, makes me want to throw up, maybe Nick Merckx had a point. Maybe Nick Merckx was right. So once again, I pose the question to Dead by Daylight veterans, and I ask this not from a place of mocking or smug self-satisfaction, but from the perspective of a new player that loves Dead by Daylight. Was old Dead by Daylight actually good and better than today, or do you just miss the days when you fell in love with the game and you weren't burnt out from playing it as much? Thank you for watching. This was fun to write, to be honest. I love Dead by Daylight and have been wanting to incorporate more general discussions around the community as well as the game, and this one was one of the first things that popped into my head to write about. I can't wait to see your comments, and hey, tell me as much as you want about the old days. I genuinely do want to hear them. If there was a time period where you loved this game so much, I want to see you guys give me some positive comments for once. I want to see you guys tell me how much you enjoyed the game at a certain point, because I would much rather think about how much you guys love something than how much you guys hate something. And if you want to chat with me live, make sure you head over to the link in the description to come join us over on Twitch. As of writing this, I'm only 170 subs on YouTube away from hitting 1K. So let's see if we can get there. Thank you guys so much. I love you all. And remember, keep on gaming.